Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing a new Irish brand called Madison, and they've came out with two palettes, so an eyeshadow palette and a contouring palette. So I'm going to use them, and this is the look I've created using the palettes on myself here. So if you want to see what I thought of the palettes and how I found them, and if they're worth the money, then keep on watching and you'll see my thoughts. To start off the look, I'm going to do my eyeshadow first, and I'm taking the Berry Bold eyeshadow palette, and this is how the palette looks inside. So it has beautiful warm tone shades and some highlighters as well. I'm taking the shade Burnt on a MAC 224 brush, and I'm just starting that off on the outer corner, and when there's less product on my brush, I'm starting to sweep the product into the inner corner and then starting to buff it out straight up to the brow bone. So next I'm taking the shade Mika from the palette, and this is a really warm toned reddy brown, and it goes really well with the orange, and this blended out like a dream into the orange. So just concentrating that a little bit lower into the crease and on the outer corner, and then I'm going back in with my 224 brush with no additional product and making sure that they mesh together really nice and seamless. And now I'm taking the shade Velvet from the palette, and this is much more of a cool tone brown, and it's going to add a lot more definition to the outer corner of the eyes. So that's where I'm mainly focusing this product, on the outer corners only, and then sweeping it in and up towards the rest of the shades. So now that we're kind of finished with the eyeshadow, I'm going to go in and do a semi-cut crease. So you can use any kind of concealer really to cut the crease. I'm personally using my eyeshadow base, so I used MAC Select Cover Up Concealer in NW15 for this, and I'm using a MAC 225 flat concealer brush, but any synthetic flat concealer brush will do. And you just want to take small little sections and work slowly when you're doing this, and just use little pat motions too. And use your natural crease as a little bit of a guide as well, but you can kind of go above it so you can exaggerate your natural crease. And what I'm doing here is I'm patting over the edges of the concealer so that I'm blending them a little bit better with my eyeshadow. So now I'm going back in with my Reveiw 228 brush, and it still has a little bit of that Mika shade on it, and I'm blending it together even better. And what I'm doing here is just making sure I'm happy and that the two creases match each other. Okay, so at this stage you could really just go in and use one of these highlighters from the palette and just pop that onto the lid, but I'm going to be a little bit extra and go in with a pigment. So taking one of my Peaches and Cream pigments in the shade Pearl, I am going to apply that to the lid. So while the concealer is still wet, I am just going to place that Pearl shade all over the concealer. This gives it a little extra pop. If you wanted this to be a little bit more pigmented, then all you'd have to do is pop down like a glitter glue or like a duo glue, and that would work too, and it'd be a lot stronger with duo glue. So just going in with no additional product on my brush, and I'm blending the edges together. So just nearly pressing on top of that Pearl shade, just meshing them together like these. I'm not going to do a wing today for once in ages. I'm just going to do a little bit of gel liner. So I'm going to use my 77 gel liner from England. So I'm just going in with that gel liner, and I'm pulling it from the outer corner into the center, and then we're going to buff that outer corner out, and then we're going to buff the gel liner out into that velvet shade. So unfortunately this palette doesn't actually have a matte black. If anything, it's the only shade that the palette is probably missing in my opinion. I just always like to have a black, but personally I have loads of black, so it doesn't bother me too much. But if this was my like go-to bring it everywhere palette, I'd want a matte black. So I'm just dipping into a matte black shadow that I already have, and I'm running it along the edges of the gel liner. And I do this while the gel liner isn't set, so nearly straight away after I apply it, I smudge it out. So once you've that black blended out, I'm going back into the Velvet shade and just running it just right over the black. And then we're going to do the rest of the liner the whole way in. I'm keeping this gel liner really close to my lash line. So just going back into that palette, the shade Bella, to highlight. So just dipping my brush into that. And I'm going to highlight the inner corners of my eye. So, ooh, that's pigmented. Oh my god. That's very pigmented. Not a bad complaint though. So, it's quite, it's beautiful actually. So just run it right across the brow bone, and then when there's less product on my brush, you can kind of start dragging it into the eyeshadow. Okay, so I just zoomed it out so I could, ooh, I just kicked my stand. Okay, I just zoomed it out so that I could do the rest of my skin. So I'm gonna go in with some strobe cream, and I'm gonna apply that all over my skin, onto my hands, just like you would apply any kind of moisturizer. And I'm just applying that all over the skin. So for foundation, I'm using a mix of Illamasqua Skin Base and MAC Mineralized Foundation. So I'm just going to mix those two foundations together and apply it to the skin now. I have to put my black onto my face. Okay. So just applying that all over the skin. Now I'm going to contour, and I'm going to use the contour palette from Madison, and this is a cream contour palette. So it has a few different shades. It has 6 contour shades, a blusher and a cream highlighter. So there's no powders except for the blusher. So I'm going to mix the two together. I'm going to blend it out first while using a blank canvas F11 brush, and just blending that under the eyes, down the sides of the nose as well. This shade for my contour, just like under my cheekbone area and the forehead as well. The mirror on the palette is actually really good, so that's what I'm using this to as a mirror. It's actually really good. So to contour my nose, I'm going to go in with that shade 6 again from the palette. A clean brush, I'm just going to blend that out. The reason I'm blending it out one side at a time is because this is my first time using this palette, and I don't know how quick the creams set, so I don't want to be left with like a really manky nose if they set too quick. And then I go under the nose as well. So that is the contour there. I really like it. I'm really impressed with it. So this is just cream contour. There's no powdered highlights or contours. So I'm going to just go in with some powder, set my face and bronze it up, and then I'll be back. Okay, so for blush, I'm going to go in with the contour palette again, and I'm going to use this shade right here. It looks really pigmented, so I'm literally just like dipping my brush in, dusting off the excess, and I'm going to just apply it to my skin. I actually love that. I love, oh my god, I love that blush. And I don't really like blush. That went on really, really nicely. I actually love it. So nice. And then to highlight, I'm going to go in with their eyeshadow palette because this has highlights in it too. I'm going to mix Bella and Daisy from the palette to highlight. Oh, that's nice. But I really like it. It's fab. It's a really nice highlighter. Shade Burnt under the lash line. Going back in now with the shade Mika. Then going in with that Velvet shade. So just gonna run some gel liner into my waterline. So then I just like to go around my mirror, around the edges, and just make sure that it's all nice and rounded and blend it out around the edges because I'm not doing a wing. And now I'm going to put on some lashes and mascara and I'll be back. So I've just popped on lashes there. I am going to just do my lip now. So I'm using the Penny's lip liner and this is in the shade Toffee. Yeah. So I'm just going to line my lip. And then I'm just going to pop on a gloss from Penny's now as well. So this one, I think it's kind of like a dupe for the Desi XKE lip topper. And this is called Diamond, Instagirl Diamond Lip Topper. And it's only €4 and it's absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to apply that just to kind of the centre. And that's the lip done. So that is the finished look there. My thoughts on the two palettes, I am highly impressed. Like so impressed, and I'll definitely be using it again. My favourite out of the two though would be the eyeshadow palette, because the highlighters are absolutely insane, amazing, and so are the eyeshadows. Like the pigment of them is so good and so blendable. I actually, hand on heart, wasn't expecting it to be this good. I was really shocked, and I'm really happy with the eyeshadow look that I created using the palette, and I created it really easy. I didn't have any struggle like blending out colours or trying to get the colours to show up on my skin. They were super pigmented, really easy to blend. Such an amazing palette and such good quality too, because it is a quite affordable palette. And you could create so many different looks with it, and you have your highlighters. So 100% I can't recommend this eyeshadow palette enough. So good. Then moving on to the contour palette, the only thing I was kind of disappointed that was there's so many cream shades in it. I will definitely use it personally as a makeup artist in my kit, but for the average woman, most of these shades are going to go to waste, and I don't think like and not like my sister. I just always think of my sister when I'm like recommending products to people that aren't makeup artists, and she wouldn't, I don't think she'd know exactly what shades to use herself if I gave her this palette. I should have asked her before I filmed it, but it is kind of, I don't know, I'm always on the fence about contour palettes like this. I'd prefer 2 powder shades, 2 cream shades, and then a blush and highlighter, and maybe have it in like a light, medium and dark kit, rather than one kit for all. Unless you're a makeup artist, I really don't think you'll probably get your use out of it. But having said that, the quality is amazing. It's easy to blend out on the skin. The colours are actually fab. I found on myself the blush, oh my god, I probably buy the palette alone for the blush. So I can't be negative. I'm always have the same feeling about contour palettes like this. I do feel like you'd be better off just having them the way I said, like a light, medium and dark for different skin tones. But having said that, it's a beautiful palette and I will continue to use it, and if you are a makeup artist, beginning or advanced, I think you'll love this palette too. So yeah, I'm going to finish up now. I hope you really enjoyed it. This is the look here, and let me know what you want to see in the comments below next, and let me know your thoughts on the palette and the look that I created using it. So I'm going to go now and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye!